The highway hums. The night air is cold. America, late 1970s. The hum is a lullaby. The night air smells like corn and gasoline. A sedan flips near mile marker 43. Glass like frost on the asphalt. Sirens wail, then fade. Witnesses gather. They whisper. Someone stands on the median, too still. His head wrong. Paramedics look up. Nobody there. But the dash cam of a state trooper catches a sliver. A figure by the guardrail. His chin is where his nape should be. The town says it's a myth, a scare for teenagers. Yet accidents keep happening. Near tunnels, rest stops, old bridges. Always at night. Always in places the wind sounds like breath. Files go missing. Photos smudge. A coroner quits without collecting his last paycheck. He leaves a box in a storage locker. Inside, a tape recorder and a spiral notebook. His notes are clipped, precise. Patient, male, 29, single car rollover. Pupil dilation inconsistent. Then a line in pencil. They don't turn their heads. The room turns around them. A fingerprint in soot smears the margin. Another entry. 2 girls, station wagon, radiator smoke. One swears she saw a man in the ditch walking backward, shoes pointed forward. He smiled with the back of his neck. The handwriting thins, as if pulled. On the tape, a voice, level, tired. Hospital lights flicker, always 2 beats before the elevator opens. Reports stack up. Tow yards, underpasses, empty diners where the neon fails on the same letter every night. At each scene, someone hears a cough behind them. When they turn, nothing. But mirrors tilt by themselves. A retired trooper, last name Hargrove, keeps a private diary. He logs locations on a faded map. Circles rest areas with a red pen. Pins accident dates with sewing needles. He marks a pattern. Post-midnight fog and the scent of hot metal. He drives alone, cassette hissing. On the tape, static forms a rhythm, like steps, like someone matching his breathing. He doesn't mention fear. He lists temperatures, wind, cloud ceiling. At 2:13 a.m., he stops under an overpass. Graffiti flakes like dry skin. The river below is slow, black. A hubcap spins in weeds long after the car that lost it is gone. He writes if he exists, he will prefer edges. Ramps, on-ramps, exit mouths. Places halfway between leaving and arriving. A distant thud. A shopping cart rolls by with no store in sight. Hargrove clicks his pen. He steps into the emergency lane. He speaks to no one, but his breath clouds as if someone stands close. Back in town, the coroner's notebook changes tone. He draws a diagram of a head. Arrows show tendons, a note. Rotation impossible unless the bones want it. Beside it, what if the face is only a place, and places can turn? The tape stutters. Sometimes he stands where a windshield once was. Sometimes in the space of a missing passenger. Sometimes at the end of the hall where the exit sign flickers, E, then zit, then dark. A long silence, a cheap clock ticks, then almost too soft. He's patient. Halloween, 1982. A Camaro skids outside a shuttered bowling alley. The driver crawls out, bleeding, laughing. He points at the glass door. Look, he says. He's smiling. Nothing there, only his own reflection. But the smile is upside down as if gravity reversed. Behind the glass, the cop on scene writes it off as shock. He never returns to night shift. Rumors grow teeth. Truckers leave coffee at mile marker 43. They don't say why. A waitress at the all-night diner keeps a stool empty, facing the door. She polishes it until the cushion shines like a wet eye. The town chooses silence. But the accidents keep their own calendar. And a shape keeps its appointments just where the air tastes like copper. Just where the world feels slightly misaligned. A new investigator arrives. Not a cop, an insurance man named Cal Morris. He keeps receipts, mileage, dates. He doesn't believe in legends. He believes in patterns. Cal finds gaps. A claim with no claimant. A car totaled with no owner on record for 3 days. A hospital discharge signed by an empty bed. Every gap points to places with skid marks and prayer candles. He visits the coroner's locker. The key sticks. Inside, dust, the tape, the notebook. He plays the tape in his motel. The ice machine roars like ocean. A voice on the tape. Hargrove, older now. I think he likes reflections, windshields, chrome, stainless elevator doors, coffee in a black cup. Another line. He arrives after impact, when attention is fractured, when eyes are busy counting breaths. Cal writes it down. He underlines, after impact. He drives the loop at night, tunnels like throats, overpasses like ribs. He stops at an abandoned rest area, vending machines stuffed with dead flies. Footsteps. No, drip, from a roof seam. Then, clear as a match strike, a cough behind him. Cal turns fast. Nothing but his own outline, warped in a convex mirror. He speaks aloud to keep his pulse steady. "You're a story," he says to the dark. "You need belief, I won't give it." But the dark doesn't bargain. It waits. On the map, accidents tighten around a single point. A decommissioned exit, concrete barriers, a sign half erased by weather. Ashford. He goes anyway. The ramp is steep. Weeds hiss against the car. The sky is a low ceiling, nail-studded with stars. Cal kills the engine. The silence has weight. He steps out. The smell, hot brake pads, old pennies, rain in metal pipes. He sees it then. Not a person. Not exactly. A geometry that looks like a person if you stare too long. The head is turned, not rotated, replaced. Like someone switched front and back and then told it to smile. It doesn't move. It simply belongs to the place. The way rust belongs to iron. Cal blinks. The figure is closer. No footsteps, no wind. Just closer, as if the space shortened between blinks. He tastes copper. He thinks of exits. How you never really leave. How every exit is an entrance for something else. He reaches for his keys. They are not in his pocket. The tape recorder in his coat clicks on by itself. Static hisses. Hargrove's voice overlays the noise. Some legends latch on to routine. They survive inside checklists, speed, angle, distance. Then they ask for one thing more, a witness. Cal refuses to look away. His eyes water. The figure lifts a hand, or the idea of a hand. Its palm faces the wrong direction. It beckons, not forward, backward, as if asking him to walk out of his own footprints. Headlights crest the hill. A pickup swerves, sees Cal's car, brakes hard. Tires scream. Impact doesn't come. Not yet. The figure turns, which is to say the world turns around it. Cal hears his own voice, tiny, from the tape. After impact, he understands the pattern. He isn't the investigator. He is the missing claimant. The truck stops inches from his knees. The driver stares, white-knuckled. "What are you doing?" Cal can't answer. In the shiny hood, he sees 3 reflections. Only one faces the right way. He drives back to town at dawn, hands shaking, coffee untouched. He sits in the diner. The waitress slides the empty stool toward him. "You look like you saw the ghost everybody talks about," she says. He doesn't say yes. He doesn't say no. He opens the notebook. He adds a page. Pattern confirmed. He appears where a life is almost a statistic. Cal sends copies of his notes to himself, to a P.O. box, to no one. He draws one more map. He circles new rest areas, newer exits, places where asphalt smells fresh. Legends migrate. There will be more accidents. Final night, fog like milk. He parks at mile marker 43, leaves the engine idling. sets the tape rolling. He speaks to the median. "I won't finish your story." Silence answers, then wind, then a far siren. Then the softest cough behind him. He doesn't turn, not yet. He stares at the windshield, at his own face. He watches it drift, like a coin in deep water, until front and back trade places. The tape stops. Click. No one finds Cal for 2 days. His car is neat. Keys in the ignition. On the seat, a notebook. The last line reads, "He prefers the moments after impact, but he also likes the moments before." Someone underlines it, in a hand that looks like his, or Hargrove's, or yours. People still leave coffee at mile marker 43. The waitress keeps the stool polished. Truckers check their mirrors twice, then a third time. Sometimes they see themselves, sometimes they don't. The town stays quiet, too quiet. The legend breathes through guardrails and glass. It waits at exits. It loves a good ending, especially the kind that never ends.